I have this fantasy that even when I'm older, I will lie under the tree like this and we'll just take a moment to appreciate this beauty. Merry Christmas.
Spoiler alert. Rated PG-13. In select theaters December 2nd. Everywhere December 9th.
Hi, Ben. My name is Jacob. I'm with a Very Queer Arts Club. So in a time with book bannings and so much anti-gay and trans legislation, what has it been like to put on or to tell such a profoundly impactful queer story on such a big scale?
Yeah, that's so interesting. I think coming into the project, I didn't necessarily think about the impact it might have and the reach that it might have, and that would be, if it does anything positive there, just such a wonderful byproduct. But the thing that really drew me was just a chance to tell a very fully realized story about the relationship between two men, about love and about what time and life does to that, and the kind of the trials and tribulations of their relationship. And I felt like I hadn't seen or consumed much that was not about the pain or the suffering or the discrimination or the shame of what being gay is. And of course, there are elements of that are included in our story. But yeah, just for me, it was a love story. Yeah.
And so with the film based on a book called Spoiler Alert, The Hero Dies, there's not much hiding that Kit isn't going to make it through the film. So how did that affect your work, knowing that there were moments you had to keep light and funny?
Do you know, that's really from the source material. I think Michael's book kind of toes that line amazingly. And I think that's to do with their relationship. Their relationship was really playful. They had this like very unique shared sense of humor. And I think very thankful to David Marshall Grant and Dan Savage for adapting it and including that in it. And then also Michael Showalter really created an environment for me and Jim where we were just allowed to play around with that and capitalize on our own chemistry that we were developing as friends. And there was a freedom and in ad-libbing and just playing things out and not having to really stick to what was there, word-wise. And I think the balance kind of takes care of itself, because you see them fall in love, which is of course a really joyful thing, and then you kind of see them weather this relationship, and ultimately, yes, they suffer a tragedy. But then I think also you leave the film invigorated to kind of love better and to cherish life. And I feel like you have watched someone pass, but I feel like you leave the movie thinking that you've watched this great love story, which was just so nice to be a part of telling that.
Yeah. And so were you familiar with the book or Michael's story before working on the film? And what was most exciting about working on this project?
I have to admit that I wasn't, but maybe that's just because I'm ignorant and I was in England, and maybe but I obviously my first exposure to the story was reading the script, and then as soon as I knew I was going to be doing it, I kind of dove headfirst into the book. And it's a really remarkable book, and I just was really hit by the kind of level of responsibility that I had in doing justice to their story, and also just the privilege that I'd been allowed to play Kit. Really, that was something that I took really seriously at all turns.
And what was it like playing a real person versus someone maybe you've played in the past that was fictional?
There really was a level of responsibility and pressure to that, I think, particularly knowing that Michael Ausiello would be on set every day, watching me play the person that he loved the most and that he knew the most. And but I would think I was really well supported by Michael, and he was a real generous resource, and totally very early on in the process allowed me to have conversations with him, and very detailed conversations about, even on set, the level of pain Kit might be in, how Kit might sit. He saved many of Kit's real life artifacts. So the camera that I'm using in those scenes is actually Kit's real camera, which felt very powerful to be literally looking through that lens and taking photographs with it. And then, just there was a level of belief from Jim and from Michael Showalter in me in playing Kit. And also you know, we were always told and instructed by Michael Showalter that we weren't there to do impersonations of them, and that we were to make it our own. And that was very relieving. And all I hoped is that I kind of distilled the essence of who he was and kind of like did my own version of that in the film. And yeah, it was just a real privilege to be playing him.
Well, thank you so much. It was so nice to get to chat with you.
You too. Thank